In today's episode, we have Elizabeth Mooney with us, and she's going to share her story on how she was able to find an untapped niche and create a multifaceted business out of it. You will also get to hear her unique way of building her brand from the ground up, how she built a community around certifying other instructors, and the importance of hiring an army of the right people to help you scale. And now, on with the show. Welcome to the Online Course Igniter podcast, where you'll hear from successful course creators and how they were able to turn their passion into a thriving online business empire. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the show today. We have Elizabeth Mooney from Country Fusion, who's going to talk about a really cool business that she has going on, and it's exploding right now and getting big. And I can't wait to dive into your story and how you're helping people out there. So how are you doing today, Elizabeth?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm glad you reached out and we are getting to do this podcast, and we've talked back and forth a little bit. Explain to everyone what your business is. And then after that, if you could just talk a little bit about what you were doing before you got into your business and just a little backstory of where you came from.
Sure. So Country Fusion is a line dance fitness. So it's kind of like a country version of Zumba per se, but you learn actual line dances in the fitness program. Basically, we say it's sneakers and water bottles meets whiskey and cowboy boots, because I take actual line dances, put it into the program, and then at night you go out dancing and use those dances that you learned. And it also has 4 wild cards. So the 4 wild cards are non-country songs. So it could be a salsa, cha-cha, hip-hop, bachata, anything that's not country. So that's for the people that aren't really into country music yet, and also to work out different body parts. And the instructors that teach Country Fusion, is their way to bring their own individuality to their class. So it's a 50-minute program, and it's based on low intensity interval training. So yeah, it's really about having a good time learning the dances, working up a sweat. And it's great for your mind, body, soul, prevents dementia because your brain's a muscle. So you're learning the dances. But that's really what Country Fusion is. Leading up to creating Country Fusion, I grew up in Long Island, New York. I started dancing at the age of 2. And from there, I was doing salsa, ballet, tap, jazz, hip hop, got into Latin dancing, became a burlesque performer, was in a lot of movies. I directed my own off-Broadway show. And throughout the whole time, I would go to a dude ranch since I was 6 years old. So the dude ranch was in upstate New York. So I would ride horses and listen to country music. I always loved the whole country lifestyle. The fitness industry found me when I was in my early 20s. I'm 37, so like 23. It found me, and they just asked me if I would teach for them one of the gyms. And I was like, I'm a dancer. They're like, I'm sure you'll figure it out. So I started my dance program, and it grew. So I got into the fitness field. And as I was teaching my classes and I got back from the ranch one summer, this was about 7 years ago. And I took a Jason Aldean and Luke Bryan song and I put it in my fitness class. I saw everyone loved it and was going crazy. And at that moment, I was like, that's it. There's no country fitness program out there. So that's how Country Fusion was then created. And I hopped on a motorcycle to Sturgis, and I was like, okay, I want it to be a 50-minute based on lit. So it's for everyone, men, women, seniors, children, everyone. And it's derived by the music. So you start out slow, go faster, reach the peak, come down, slow down. And that's really how it all came about, kind of found me in a way.
Nice. I like that. That's really cool, because the fact that you were aware of what was responding to people, that takes an entrepreneurial type of mindset to say like, okay, there's something here. I've got something here. And you've blown it up into this big business. And that's really awesome. So these classes that you're doing, they're in-person events, correct?
So, well, we have a couple. I was always doing in person in the beginning. And then I was pregnant with my daughter, and I started implementing online. So I implemented the online certification for instructors and tutorials, which actually was a great thing I did then. My daughter's 3 because I was prepared for COVID. So everything was already online. So that was great. And then I started doing Zoom classes. So right now, presently, I still do the Zoom and live in person at the same time. And there's live. And then you could also get certified and do the tutorials. So I do both.
Okay, very good. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that, you're doing these in-person events. You mentioned COVID, but what was that the reason why you decided to take it online, or have you thought about taking it online before?
When I was pregnant. So when I was pregnant, I created the online program. I just found out I was pregnant, so I didn't know how my pregnancy was going to be. So I started filming videos and implemented the whole program. So that was great that I did that then. And I had a great pregnancy and I was able to still teach, but I already had it prepped and planned. So then when COVID happened, it was already established.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So you're outlining, you're planning these ideas for your videos and for your course. And I heard you say you had a couple things, so we'll break down each one of those. But once you had this information, did you just know what you were going to create because you had been teaching it for so long, or how did you outline and structure that information?
That's a great question. So I feel like my past led me to having the information to put this whole program together. I was, teaching my group fitness classes. I knew I wanted 50 minutes. It gives time for people to get in, leave the class. I knew I wanted lit because of my experience of people that come to me and they say, I have bad knees, or I just got a surgery or had a car accident. So I wanted something that wasn't too hard on people, but at the same time, if someone wanted to make it intense, they could. So I had that. And then the dance, I've been in dance my whole life. So that was something. Obviously, I wanted to be a dance program. It's funny, way back, I was doing Zumba before Zumba came out when they asked me to be part of the fitness class. So I was teaching salsa, cha-cha, all that. And then Zumba came out. I'm like, I was doing this before Zumba came out, So it's great that I then was able years down the road to create my own. And it just literally popped in my head once I came back from that vacation with the country routines and I put in the class and I was teaching Queens. I saw everyone loved me. I'm like, that's it. It just came to me. I'm like, there's no country fitness program. And just knowing how to implement it and put it together and being a director and a performer. So all those aspects just helped me put this program together and in motion. And I had to start from the bottom up. I moved to Jersey at the time. I didn't know anyone. So I was making great money living in New York and performing and whatnot. And I had to start from the bottom up. So I had to work at YMCA's, Crunch, Retro Fitnesses, making probably what I started out with when I was 23, and just to build something. And then once I was getting my classes and they were packed, I rented space. I had a dance studio and a dance hall. And that's how I started my business. So I started from nothing. I did a Groupon and from the bottom up and built it. A couple years later, it was 250 clients. And then I started the instructor program and I got with SDW, who really helped me. They loved my idea, my program. So I worked with them, redoing the website, the logo, the manual, the certification, getting it online. So they took everything also to the next level. It just flourished from there. But I started from the ground up.
Well, that's awesome to hear because you took a very organic approach where you were actually meeting people. I mean, you were doing these classes in person to kind of build your brand, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and it's the same thing online, like you're doing the same thing, but it's cool to hear someone doing that offline because, we think a lot about how we can grow our Facebook or social media or Instagram, but the fact that you were, out there teaching these classes and doing them in person, I bet really helped grow your authority into the brand and the business. Were you teaching the line dancing at these places? So like when you were going to the YMCA and like that, was it the line dancing or was it everything?
When I first started at the gyms, I was teaching everything. I teach bar, I teach stiletto. Then I would throw in the country music in my class because like Crunch, you have to stick with their program. But the clients fell in love with taking my classes. So I was telling them about Country Fusion. And when I went to Space, they then were coming there to take Country Fusion specifically. Then from there, I started teaching line dancing at night. And I grew that in Jersey. So then it's great as an instructor. you get to teach Country Fusion, whether it's at a YMCA, a studio, gyms, wherever you're going to teach Country Fusion. And then at night, you could teach line dances, and there's parties. There's so many different ways to make money. And that's one of the few fitness brands where you have so many possibilities as an instructor. You have bridal showers, you have weddings, and you have gyms and studios, YMCAs, and then also teaching line dance at night. And I grew it in Jersey doing that. And that really helped the brand as well, because then I'm catering to the nightlife people who maybe wouldn't have worked out and gone to the gym. Then they're like, wow, I love this. I don't even feel like I'm working out. I'm sweating so much. And then they come to class. Then the people at class are like, oh, I'm going to come dancing at night. Then they all became friends. And then they go to country concerts, and it becomes a lifestyle. And that's the most beautiful thing about the brand, is that it's a lifestyle. So people fall in love with the dancing, the music. They make friends, they buy cowboy boots, they go to concerts, and it's part of their life.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is when you have a successful business, when it's not about the money, but it's about that you are creating that type of lifestyle for people and those relationships. That's really cool. Really, really neat, interesting story to hear, and how you've grown it to what it's become. And I want to hear more about some other things that you've done, because I know recently you started a new headquarters and whatnot. But first, I want to hear about the certification program, the instructor program, because I was looking at that on your website. And I know that might be a cool topic to talk about on this podcast, since we have a lot of online creators, and they might have businesses where this might make sense, where you can create a certification program. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So I wanted to make an online program because it was getting harder to travel everywhere. Like, a lot of people were asking me to come to all different states. And I was doing the best I could, but I was like, I wanted to make it where it was easier for anyone to get certified from wherever they are in the world. So that's where it came from, the idea. And then I designed the manual. And again, SCW helped me with that, with the scientific aspect of it. So we put the manual first together. And then after the manual, we put the tests together. And then you have a certificate at the end. You get 7 credits towards AFA and NASM. And so the process, they purchase it online, and then it takes them however long it could take. They log in, they can log out. And then once they're certified and they complete it, then from there, they sign up to be the star instructor, where it's $22 a month. They get access to all the videos. And in the videos, I break down a dance, and then I'm dancing the dance. They have use of the Country Fusion name, and that's it. So there's about 100-something videos. I would say like 150 videos on the website right now. And they come from me going on tour, going to the honky tonks, taking what's being done. And then I put that in the video and break it down for them, teach them some wild cards. So when everything's said and done, they have videos, they have the manual, they have the test. Then after they get certified, I like to have a Zoom meeting with them. Like, I like to at least talk to every instructor that there is that's out there. Mm-hmm. And I create a Facebook page for the instructors so everyone could communicate and talk. I invite them to any like fitness fests that I have, any events going on, or to the headquarters. Again, even with instructors, it's a good community, and we all help each other. And that's about it. It took some time to create it, but it's great. It's a nice, easy way to, where anyone can get certified, and then you just follow up with them after.
Yeah, definitely. That's a cool program, because I think that a lot of people might not think about these types of certifications, but anyone who's creating a coaching program, consultancy, or online course, this is something that you could do too. You could certify other people. And then, like you said, it's building a good relationship of like-minded individuals. Now, is that the same as creating a franchise? Did you mention at some point that you were franchising this business? Is this the same thing, or is that separate?
No, it's separate. So the instructors, they get certified and they go off and they do their own thing. They could teach at YMCAs. They go off and they flourish. They go on their own. And then I just give them the materials, and then I'm always here to help them with it. But the franchise and part, this is all relatively new. So I just opened the headquarters in Nashville. not even a month ago. And through that, I've been having a lot of interviews and people have been asking me if I'd be interested in opening up a Country Fusion studio, Dallas, Tampa, and then recently I was just asked in North Carolina. So that's where now I'm like, oh, okay, this could be an idea. I'm like, let me just focus on this one first. And then, but I'm definitely open to the possibilities of open other Country Fusion studios in other states.
Okay, very cool. So the certification is once someone's certified, they can go use that on their own, however they'd like to.
Exactly. So they go up and they could teach after school, kids programs, YMCA's, gym studios, bars. Also, I am the only certification out there for line dancers. So if anyone wants to get certified to become a line dancer, I am the only certification out there to get certified to teach line dance.
Oh, nice. That's really neat. And then you said that when they get that certification, they have access to a library. So you're creating videos and giving them information that they can use. Do you keep updating that information over time?
Yeah. So they get 2 videos that are new per month. So they have the name of the line dance, beginner, intermediate, how many walls, because in line dancing it could be 2, 4, 1 wall. The name of the song, the name of the dance. I break it down. The other video is me dancing to it.
Are those videos, you said they were at some honky tonks. Are you using like a studio to record these? Or are they just, you take a camera with you? Like what's your method for recording these videos?
The studio, it's me. So I'm in the studio and I break it down and teach it and then film myself. So if you go to my Instagram, Country Fusion LLC, you'll see clips, and that's usually the clips of me dancing in the studio are the videos I'm filming for the instructors.
Awesome. Very cool. And then you said you recently moved into a headquarters. And so the company is obviously doing a lot better. So you come down here to Tennessee, that is?
Yes.
Why the move? Why did you come down here to open up the headquarters? Like what are your game plans for the business at this moment?
So when I was in Jersey, I really grew it, and I have instructors there that took over, and I felt like I reached the ceiling in a way there. I could have stayed because of everything online. Online is wonderful. It really is. Like right before I jumped on this phone call with you, I just have another instructor just got certified in Florida. So the online is great. And I could have just kept on doing that and stayed in Jersey, but something in me, I wanted to open up a physical location because the studio to me, like I love teaching at night, all these different honky tonks and nightclubs and all that. But the studio that's my home. So I wanted to have my own place. And I wanted to pick somewhere where country music lives forever. It wasn't a fad or anything, where better than Music City. So that's why I chose Nashville. And I'm on Music City Drive. So I'm right across from the Gaylord Hotel by the Opry. And I wanted a place also where a lot of people were going to Nashville and they were like, oh, I got to learn how to dance. They would come to me, go there. They're like, there's no dancing. So I had to go for myself and check it out. And I'm like, wow, there wasn't much dancing or teaching. And basically they taught one dance before the dance floor opened up at 2 of the nightclubs. And that was really it. And I was really surprised about that. So I knew that's where I was going to open it up. I just didn't know when. And COVID happened and it gave me a chance not to be so busy like I normally am. I was more just doing Zoom classes, and it gave me time to prep for the venture, and that was it. So I started planning, preparing, and traveling back and forth, and I found the location. So I wanted to bring dance back to Nashville. In a way, I feel like I'm Kevin Bacon in Footloose, bringing dance back. So I want to have a place where people feel comfortable and safe, and to learn how to dance and build their confidence. But I teach everything there. I teach country fusion, regular just line dancing, couples 2-step, couples dancing. There's pole dance fitness, there's bar, there's total body, there's stiletto, there's burlesque, there's yoga. So we have everything there. And then also we cater to bachelorette parties, and we give them experience of country fusion. So there's really a lot going on there, but really the essence is to be somewhere where country music lives on forever, a home for country fusion, and to bring dance back. And it's about, like I always say, it's about spreading the love. And I just wanted to have a home where you spread the love people come to, and positivity. And I'm seeing so much too, how we have to work on like confidence and feeling good about ourselves. And I have to say, like all my clients in the past, they have thanked me tremendously of how I changed their life. And I hope I could just keep on doing that for others and making people feel good about themselves.
Hello, course creators. Are you struggling with marketing and selling your online course? If so, then head over to our free community where successful course creators are ready to help you create, market, and sell your expertise. Go to onlinecourseigniter.com/community now to join. That's onlinecourseigniter.com/community. Thinking about the stuff that you did online, and thinking about the person who's listening to this podcast who maybe they were like you, maybe they had a passion for some kind of dance or something that you would do, an art or maybe an instrument or something that they would like to take online. What would be some advice that you could give, maybe some struggles that you went through or some things that you learned when you started taking your program online? What would be some advice that you could give to that person?
I had to really think about what my goal was and to lay out how I was going to get there and what I was trying to achieve. So I knew that point for me, my goal was I didn't want to travel as much, especially being pregnant. So I wanted to create something online, but then I knew I had to start with a manual, and that took time. That took back and forth, and that took the longest, I would say, 3 to 5 months to create that. And then the tests. So give yourself time. Think about what your vision and your goal is, what your objective is. And, once you put it out there, you may have to tweak a few things. I did. And then, but once you have it and it's set after you tweak and it's out there, it pretty much runs on its own. And that's really the beauty in it. Like, of course, here and there, I still have to, like the videos, something may not be uploaded correctly. Okay, I have to just go in and talk to I have a web team too. And that's also a plus. I am not savvy with computers, so I have a whole web team. So they're extremely helpful. So I do, unless, if you're great with computers, fantastic. I'm not. So my web team, thank God I have them.
Yeah, it's important to reach out to the people who can do things faster, better, quicker than you can. That's something we talk about a lot on this podcast is outsourcing. So do you do a lot of that? Is a lot of your business run with other professionals that are helping you get to this point?
100%. 100%. Because, I could do a lot, but there's, I know my strengths. I know where someone else is probably better at this, or like, it's just something I'm not interested in. So web design, I have a team. They're great at it. I tell this, okay, this needs to be updated, or we need to add this, or this isn't working right, but they're on it. Fantastic. When it comes to logo design, like SDW, they redesigned my website, my logo, they put everything together. So that was fantastic with them. I think that's really, really, really important. And then working with a marketing team. So you have to build your army. And I think that is really what helps make you successful, because you're going to burn yourself out. Because I've done so much on my own. And as time went on, and you have more responsibilities as you grow and you get bigger, you have to start outsourcing to professionals that is what they do. And I think that's important to grow your army like that, and having good instructors. Yeah, all that is important.
Nice. And you mentioned marketing. Are there any things that you're doing on the marketing end right now that you see as working out really well as far as social media or any other platforms?
What I've done with marketing and social media, I have connected with people who are really big in the line dance community. So I connected with Electro Horse and Big Moochie. Big Moochie, he choreographs a lot of line dances, has a big, huge following. they asked me if I would collaborate in a music video with them. So I literally just filmed the music video last week. And now from that, I'm getting more followers, and that's going to be getting out there. Plus, I choreograph for different country artists. So we do cross marketing. That's really important too. You know, I believe in business, one hand washes the other. We're all in this together. We all try to help each other out. So there's a lot of cross marketing. I had a couple, my grand opening bloggers come in, and they took my class. So they wrote about it and they put that out there. Plus I'm working with a marketing team in Nashville, and they're wonderful. They've been great, just like putting us on the map in Nashville. And then some publications pick it up, like the Nashville Scene picked us up as Critics' Pick. So it's really, I think marketing is so important. So I think it's first having your vision, having your objective, putting in the work, giving it time, being patient is key. And then work out those kinks. And it's going to take time. It's going to take years. It took me time. We're at 7 years. And staying with it. Like if you believe in it, there's nothing else that's going to happen. There was no, oh, I'm going to become a nurse or something. No, this is what I do. This is who I am. That's it. So I just stayed the course, stayed on my path. And I learned as I went as well. And marketing and PR is so important in social media, because they're not going to know who you are if you don't market and get yourself out there.
Yeah, definitely. That's some really good advice, and I like that you're trying different types of markets. You're not focused on just one thing, which a lot of people do is they'll get pigeonholed into just Facebook or just Instagram. But it sounds like you're multifaceted, which I think is really great. And I really love what you said about working with other people in your industry, because a lot of times we can see people as competition, and that's such a negative mindset to have, because like you said, we should all be helping each other grow and providing openings and doors for each other. And I like that you are working with others, because that's something that we can all do. We can go find those other influencers out there and see how we can exchange value from one another.
Without a doubt, we're in this together. One hand wash the other, like I said. And even when I came to Nashville, the lion dance, the honky tonks, I introduced myself, and I know at first they looked at me as competition, and I said to them, like, I'm not your competition. I'm not your competitor. I want to send people to you. I want to teach country fusion during the day and send them to you. So I'm like, we're in this together, and I think that's so important. I'm very sure of myself and what I do. So I don't look at someone as competition, but if there's someone that they're successful in something similar to what I do, I take notes. Okay. What is their pricing? What is their angle? What are they doing? This and that. And I more want to learn to then be like, okay, this is what I could do better. I don't look at them as competition. I look at them, okay, smart angle. Let me see how I could implement that into what I'm doing.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. That's some good advice. So just looking into the future, maybe the next, year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, what would you like to see with your business? Where would you like to see it go?
I would like to see the studio doing really well, where it's just running on its own. Like I said about the online, like it just runs on its own. I would like to see the studio the same way. More instructors all over the states and world, because now we're in Canada, Australia, Guantanamo Bay, Spain, Austria. So it's really grown. And then, like I said, with the franchising other studios, I really would love that. I would love to have, I don't know, we'll see. Could be a couple more studios, could be 10. I have no idea, because this is all new to me. I don't go into things with like, oh, I'm going to open this studio and I'm going to franchise. I was like, I'm just opening this one studio. And then it really was everyone else being like franchise. And people are asking me now that they heard about it. Now I'm like, okay, this could be an idea. So I really just look at my task at hand. But my goal is to keep on doing what I'm doing and letting it run its own, and instructors just, growing it as well. And hopefully I get to retire at like 50. That's probably not going to happen. But really, overall, I would love to leave my legacy to my daughter. I'm working really, really, really hard to leave her my legacy. And I just want to, bring positivity and leave a staple here.
Nice. I love it. And I wish you the most success. And hopefully you can reach all those dreams that you're thinking about and the ones that you haven't thought about yet.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you, Jeremy.
So if anyone wants to find out more about you and your business online, where can they do that at?
The website is countryfusion.net. Instagram and Facebook is Country Fusion LLC. And also YouTube, there's some videos too if you go to Country Fusion. But I'm very, very, very active on Instagram, Country Fusion LLC, and then also Facebook. But yeah, if you're interested in becoming an instructor, it's on the website, all the information. Also, if you want to take a class, you can Zoom, and there's tutorials on the website too. So there's a lot of online options, and we have a full apparel line. So we have a whole clothing line as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Lots of ways to monetize that. That's brilliant. You're doing really great things, and I just hope you the most success in the future. And I appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us today, Elizabeth. You can find out more about her and her business by visiting countryfusion.net, or you can get the show notes of this episode along with links and resources by visiting onlinecourseigniter.com/47. Don't forget to take some time to have fun out there. Thank you for tuning in to the Online Course Igniter podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening so that you don't miss an episode. If you would like to learn more marketing strategies and how to sell your online course, then also check out our free community where we share tips, tricks, and tutorials at onlinecourseigniter.com/community.